Hey Bears fans, we're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Chicago Bears. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit that like button. That way, you'll always stay up to date with breaking news and exclusive content. The moment has finally arrived, Bears fans. After weeks of speculation, analysis, and countless mock drafts, we've reached the defining stage of the 2025 NFL draft journey. This marks the 15th version of our mock draft, a number that carries some weight not only because of the sheer volume of scenarios we've explored, but also because it reflects just how much time and attention we've dedicated to forecasting Chicago's future. With 7 total picks at their disposal, the Bears are positioned to make some serious noise this year. There's anticipation, tension, and more than a little excitement in the air. Before diving into the heart of what this mock has to offer, it's important to acknowledge how value is being measured this time around. Recently, a new system was introduced to quantify the worth of each pick, based on a point value model that varies from team to team. While no two franchises use the exact same draft chart, the system provides a good sense of how teams weigh trades, negotiations, and strategic moves. For the Bears, this means not just making picks, they're playing the value game too. Now let's talk about the big headline, the possibility of Chicago moving up in the draft. In past simulations, we've mostly avoided predicting trades. But this time, there's real traction. Word is spreading that the Bears are eyeing a leap toward the top 5, specifically to land Ashton Gentry. This is the move that's been bubbling for a while. The proposed deal would send the 10th and 41st picks to the Jaguars, along with a second rounder early in the draft, in exchange for the 5th overall selection and a 4th round pick. According to the draft value chart, the numbers are close enough to suggest fairness, which is why this scenario feels entirely plausible. A lot of attention is focused on the top 4 picks, which many believe are already locked in. Cam Ward to the Titans, Travis Hunter to Cleveland, Abdul Carter headed to the Giants, and Will Campbell to the Patriots. If that holds, it leaves Gentry as a prime target at number 5. And that's where things get interesting. The Jaguars could have their eyes on Gentry too, which adds a layer of uncertainty. But from everything we've seen and heard, the Bears have a strong interest and could very well pull the trigger to get their guy. Trading up doesn't come cheap, especially for a player that isn't a quarterback. But in this case, the market seems to be softening. Reports suggest that current offers to move up are being valued at roughly 70 cents on the dollar, much lower than the premium typically required. That's great news for Chicago. In this mock, the Bears would be sending out a total of 515 points worth of draft capital while receiving back a package valued at 499 points. Not a steal, but close enough to make sense. And why the interest in Ashton Gentry? Because he's not just another prospect. He's a culture changer. The guy has elite contact balance, phenomenal footwork, vision, patience, and the kind of agility that makes defenders miss in open space. He's also a high-character individual, something that Bears head coach Matt Eberflus and the front office have consistently prioritized. He could be a day-one impact player, not just on the field, but in the locker room. That's the type of presence that shifts a team's identity. It's worth noting that even if this trade doesn't happen before the draft, there's still a very real chance it could go down during the event itself. Draft night is unpredictable. New England could shake everything up by selecting Gentry at 4, forcing the Bears to reevaluate. But assuming things play out the way many expect, the 5th overall pick remains within reach. This might be the year where Chicago decides to be bold. As for the rest of the draft, the strategy seems to focus on value and positional need. Let's shift to a potential 2nd round pick, a defensive end who's appeared in multiple mocks. He's a player with the size, athleticism, and profile the Bears tend to target. Standing at 6'4", weighing 270 pounds, and boasting a wingspan just shy of 34 inches, he brings the kind of physical tools that can collapse the pocket. He's been projected as a late 1st rounder in some circles, but slips here due to inconsistencies in pass rush production. Think of him as the NFL's version of a streaky shooter, dominant in stretches, quiet in others. Still, The upside is undeniable. This edge rusher also had a huge senior season, racking up 6.5 sacks during a 4-game playoff run. That kind of production in high leverage moments doesn't go unnoticed, and while he's not quite a finished product, the potential to develop into a starter is very real. He fits what Chicago wants: versatile, powerful, coachable. Now let's talk third round. Here, Chicago might target a safety with legitimate starting potential. There's one name that stands out, a player who, despite a knee injury, put up elite grades in both run defense and pass coverage. In fact, he's the only safety in college football to grade above 85 in both categories last season. That kind of dual threat versatility makes him a rare find. He's already resumed training, posting a sub 4.6 second 40-yard dash just 6 months removed from surgery. By the time he's fully healthy, sub 4.5 is a realistic target. His college film shows range, ball skills, and excellent awareness. If the Bears go this route, they wouldn't need to rush him. With Jaquan Brisker and Elijah Hicks both entering contract years in 2026, there's an opportunity to slowly bring him into the system. He could start out as a rotational piece, learn behind veterans, and be ready to take over down the line. Heading into the 4th round, the need for offensive line help becomes a priority. There's one intriguing tackle prospect out of NC State who could be available. He's a massive human being, 6'3" and over 330 pounds. While his foot speed and pad level need improvement, he flashes enough in pass protection to suggest that he could be developed into a reliable backup with long-term starting potential. In an ideal world, he spends his rookie year on the sideline, refining his technique and learning the playbook, while giving the Bears added depth at a crucial position. Later in the draft, a dependable tight end could be on the radar. There's one in particular who doesn't wow with athleticism, but checks every box as a fundamentally sound contributor. He's not going to outrun defenders or make jaw-dropping grabs in traffic, but he knows how to get open, block effectively, and contribute in clutch moments. He had several key plays during the college football playoffs that earned him a spot on many draft boards. Think of him as a classic TE2, a guy who can step in when needed, execute his role, and bring stability to the unit. And then there's a name that pops up in the 5th round, a wide receiver from Tennessee who's all about the deep ball. He's 6'5" with legit track speed, clocking a 40-yard dash in the low 4.3s. His route tree is limited, mostly go routes, curls, and quick hitters, but in an offense that values vertical threats, he brings real juice. He's not coming in to be a WR1, but if you're looking for a situational deep threat who can stretch the field and draw safeties, he's your guy. As we move into the later rounds, the Bears could target a linebacker who flashed athleticism in pre-draft visits. There's a name that's been floating around, Nick Martin. With Jack Sanborn being let go, it seems the coaching staff wants more speed and fluidity in that 3rd linebacker spot. Martin could challenge for playing time right away and add depth to special teams. And finally, with the last pick of the draft, there's one player who's impossible to ignore simply because of his size, Desmond Watson. He's an absolute mountain of a man, and while his conditioning remains a major question mark, he's surprisingly nimble for someone approaching 500 pounds. Could he make the team? Maybe not, but he's the kind of late-round flyer you stash on the practice squad and see what happens. If he drops weight and develops some consistency, who knows? He could become a short yardage defensive tackle or even a blocking fullback in heavy sets. All in all, the Bears have a chance to reshape the roster in meaningful ways. If they pull off the move for Ashton Gentry, it could be the kind of moment fans look back on as a turning point. There's talent, strategy, and opportunity in front of them. Now it's about execution. And that begins on Thursday night. With the foundation of this draft class starting to take shape, the final rounds are where teams often find hidden gems or secure key depth pieces that round out the roster. For the Bears, the 6th and 7th, rounds aren't about flashy names. They're about identifying players who can contribute on special teams, offer developmental upside, and maybe, just maybe, surprise everyone by carving out a role in the long term. At this stage, the front office has to balance athletic traits, work ethic, and positional needs while being mindful of future contracts and roster turnover. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Jawaan Taylor's arrival in Chicago marks a seismic shift for the Bears' offensive line, and fans can already sense the promise of stability and power in the trenches. A four-time Pro Bowler during his tenure with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Taylor brings both elite talent and veteran leadership to a Bears unit that struggled to protect its quarterback and establish a consistent running game last season. At 6'5" and 330 pounds, his imposing frame and quick feet should enable Chicago to shore up its right tackle position. Long considered a vulnerability, Taylor's journey to the Windy City began when the Bears leveraged their cap space and draft assets to secure a trade, signaling that general manager Ryan Poles is all in on building a contender. Taylor's reputation as a mauler in run blocking and a nimble pass protector aligns perfectly with head coach Matt Eberflus's vision of a balanced physical offense. His presence will not only ease pressure off second-year quarterback Justin Fields, but also offer a mentor for the younger linemen, who now have a blueprint for elite-level preparation and performance. Early reports from Hallos Hall have been glowing. Teammates describe Taylor as a consummate professional whose intense work ethic and film study habits elevate every practice. Offensive coordinator Luke Getsy, who has been searching for a linchpin to anchor his scheme, believes Taylor's technique and football IQ will translate seamlessly into Chicago's system. The upgrade at right tackle is expected to open up running lanes for the Bears' backfield, where deep threats like Khalil Herbert and rookie Roschon Johnson can exploit defensive front sevens. Off the field, Taylor's community-minded spirit has already won over Chicagoans. During his introductory press conference, he emphasized his eagerness to engage with local schools and youth football programs, underscoring the Bears' commitment to fostering the next generation of athletes. As training camp approaches, all eyes will be on number 78 in orange and navy. If Jawaan Taylor can replicate the dominance he showed in Jacksonville, the Bears' offensive line will transform from a liability into a defining strength, and Chicago may finally have the foundation it needs to challenge for NFC North supremacy. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.